All right, hi folks. Welcome to today's community meeting. Let's kick off the first topic. I actually was just having a discussion with Nathan and the team here about the frequency of the meeting. Someone wants to join. Sorry, trying to admit. Oops, somebody else wants to join too. Sorry about that. I was trying to share screen and then people keep popping in. So hopefully I can figure out the screen sharing now. So the first topic I would love to discuss is what's the right frequency for this meeting? Because I noticed the topic is pretty light so far, and Nathan brought up a good point. We don't want people wait a week or 2 weeks to get their PR merged. I guess I would say if you have a PR out there, probably send to our Slack is the best, so you don't have to even wait for a week. I think folks are pretty responsive in Slack. So I would recommend that. I don't think that would be a strong reason to have a meeting, but I want to hear what other people think too. Certainly, if folks think having weekly is the right frequency, I mean, we're happy to hold the meeting on the weekly basis. I just didn't want to use more time than we actually need. Does anyone have an opinion? Don't be shy. If
And
you're
I lean towards bi-weekly if we feel like we're seeing a consistent pattern of not having enough content to put on the agenda.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Who else have an opinion? Nina, Tim, or Ian? Oh, some of our community member, Mayava.
I am sympathetic to the idea that when you really need to build consensus, the meeting is handy and waiting is maybe more of a hassle. But I don't think the majority of our PRs tend to be so problematic or maybe contentious that it really requires the sort of face-to-face discussion of the meeting. So maybe Slack is pretty suitable for the vast majority of our current cases.
I can, at least from my experience, just commenting at people on PRs has gotten a lot of interaction. So I'm also on board with this, but I'm sure everyone has their own experiences.
I joined a bit late, but
yeah,
I
Tim,
think I agree with what Nathan just said there. I mean, just feel free to ping me in Slack or get up notifications. I spend probably too much of my day burning down that blue button in the GitHub UI. So no strong opinion in terms of frequency. I think bi-monthly seems reasonable to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it sounds like we have enough feedback. I just saw the comment from Mayava too. Sounds like we have enough feedback. Bi-weekly is okay, at least to try it and see if it's better. So with that, I'm going to update the calendar invite. Actually, I'm going to send a notice to the channel first. If there's no strong objection, I will update the invite to change to every other week. So we still have a place together and having open discussion. But for some of the discussion, particular PR review, if there's no contentious, I would love you all to leverage the Slack channel for the discussion. Very good. I think we have a couple of new folks here today. I would love you all to introduce yourself. If you haven't said hi to the community member, we would love to hear from you. You know, what would you like to get out of the meeting or the kgateway? Or are you using kgateway or are you looking to contribute to kgateway? So, does anyone wants to? I know that Naveen, maybe it's good for you to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here. I'm Naveen Kumar. I'm founder of Trust AI. We help enterprises get enabled on generative AI. And for me, Agent MCP Gateway or Agent Gateway is what I have been very closely watching. So this is the one I would love to contribute. I would love to implement and see in all forms what I can do for the community to grow.
That's awesome. We're so excited to have you. Did you say you love to contribute to kgateway? Did you mention another project? I just want to make sure I capture that.
Gateway, yeah.
Okay,
so,
just kgateway.
Gateway is my objective, and Gateway looks very closer to addressing it. So that's from that perspective, I would love to contribute more to Gateway. And I already do some contribution to open source community in other forms. I would love to do that as well.
Awesome. Now, may I ask, I assume your company is a startup company. Is your company, I assume it's shipping some solution and you are hoping maybe it can be based on kgateway?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. We'd love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Paras, were you trying to weigh in too?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name is Paras. I work for Rakuten Rewards, the US entity here. We use Glue, that's open source previous version of kgateway, in production for many years. And currently I'm maintaining one MCP server for Kubernetes, the open source project. And soon we are also launching the streamable HTTP in that MCP server. And we are looking to host Kubernetes MCP on Kubernetes. And maybe we want to set up some examples how to use it with the kgateway with proper authentication and authorization layer. So I'm right now in process to implement that streamable HTTP on that MCP server Kubernetes project, and would like to connect this to project kgateway and that open source project, and give some guidance to the users or open source community how to utilize kgateway and how they can easily host the MCP server for Kubernetes on kgateway.
That's awesome. By the way, I didn't know, so thank you so much. I'm so excited you've been using Glue for so many years. I didn't capture where you work. Do you mind to repeat that?
Yeah, I work for Rakuten Rewards, Rakuten.com.
Okay. Yeah. Rakuten.com?
Yes. Yeah, so
okay,
Rakuten
awesome.
is a Japanese e-commerce company in Japan.
Yes.
It's like Amazon of Japan. And we represent here in US, the Rakuten.com. We are online shopping cashback company.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard of you guys before. That's amazing. Actually, I need to send you tomorrow. We're announcing a new project, well, a sub-project inside of K-Agent. I need to send that information to you. It's called a KMCP. So the goal of the project is to allow user to easily deploy MCP server in Kubernetes, and it has built-in support for Agent Gateway. So I would love to get your take on that too.
Yeah, so that will be my first question for today. So while Agent Gateway is there and then K-Agent is there, so two projects. And then I see some of them duplicate work or similarities there. So for users, what should be the best path forward when they are starting to explore the gateway world.
So if I understood your question, let me replay back to you. And anyone else, if you want to weigh in, please do. I think you're trying to understand the difference between kgateway and agent gateway. Is that right?
Yeah. When should I use agent gateway and when should I choose kgateway?
Okay, so in Kubernetes environments, we plan to support 2 data plane modes. One is Envoy based in kgateway, which is what you see today. The other mode, we added some initial support. So if you go to kgateway right now, you will see some mentioning about MCP gateway right here. So that was our initial version of Agent Gateway. So we actually launched this in March before the A2A protocol was announced. But after we seen the A2A protocol, we were like, well, we don't want to create a gateway only support MCP. We want to create a gateway supports not only MCP, but A2A. So we renamed that project from MCP Gateway to Agent Gateway. Which caused some confusion to our user. But in a nutshell, kgateway supports Envoy-based data plane. It supports a very early version of Agent Gateway when the naming was called MCP Gateway. It's more like a POC level. Nina here on the team, along with a few other folks, are integrating Agent Gateway, the new latest version, into kgateway. So you can use Kubernetes Gateway API to program Agent Gateway in your Kubernetes environment without yourself needing to configure Agent Gateway configuration, if that makes sense. So today you can run Agent Gateway yourself, but you have to figure out what is the configuration, manage all that configuration yourself. So we do recommend user to run Agent Gateway outside of Kubernetes environment by itself, but in Kubernetes environment, we recommend the user to use kgateway when the Agent Gateway supports lands in kgateway.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now,
eventually here you have MCP gateway that will go away, and we will be strongly recommending user, if you need a functionality of Agent Gateway and MCP Gateway, then that's the project to integrate with kgateway.
Yes, so that project is the Agent Gateway. Nathan, were you asking a question too?
My current understanding is that there's a version of Agent Gateway working with kgateway that's on branch. Is that correct?
Nina, can you clarify? I think so, but I've never tried it.
Yep. Yeah. So we have a branch that updates. So currently on main, we have the old version of Agent Gateway. So it's like the pre 0.6.0 release. And there is a branch that has all of the updates to Agent Gateway. So Agent Gateway supports the full Gateway API versus the earlier version only supported MCP and A2A routing. So on that branch, we're working to add all of the support to all of the Gateway API resources, along with some of the kgateway resources like static backends and the AI backends. So once that branch merges in, you will be able to either use Envoy to do Gateway API routing or Agent Gateway, depending on your use case.
Very cool. Thank you.
And then for your user case, Paris, I assume is to use Agent Gateway to mediate the traffic from your agent to your MCP server. And I assume you have your agent and the MCP server both running in Kubernetes. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, we have it with our own way of deploying today. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to adopt some of the best practices from the community and using standard infrastructure versus standalone pod today.
Okay, cool. Now, may I ask you, you're using Glue open source in production, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you are looking at moving to kgateway, I assume, because now you are adopting AI and you need because we're not adding agent gateway support in Glue open
Yeah.
source, right?
Yeah, so that Glue project is donated. Initially, my understanding was if donated to the Kgate and renamed as a kgateway. Of course, there are some bigger changes. So in my understanding, Glue will not have any more new releases after a few months or few quarters, and we are only focusing on kgateway. That was my understanding. So we were also planning like, okay, today whatever the latest version of Glue we have running in production, let it running, but in near future, let's switch to kgateway.
Okay, awesome. That's good. Yeah, that's what I was guessing. So it's good to confirm that. Anyone else have any question on this topic or wants to weigh in? All right, awesome. Anyone else wants to introduce yourself? Sorry, I lose track of who has introduced or not. Devish, go ahead. If you're talking, you might be muted. Let me check. We can't hear you. Okay, anyone else hasn't introduced? So I'll put your name down. So maybe next time you can introduce or whenever you fix your microphone. All right, I think that's it. The other members, I think we all know. All right. Now, Naveen, I have a question for you. Is there any particular area in kgateway you are looking to contribute? Is there anything we can help for you?
I would like to, first of all, understand a bit more deeper on how things work. And I would like to implement, bake into some of the work we are doing to see how it works. But one thing I have also been doing for other communities is helping their resources become more useful, as in, and I don't charge for that, as in, so kgateway today has resources, right? And I can ask AI agent for anybody to start using it so that the information is available more on the fingertips and people can consume it instantly. And then some of the learnings I get from kgateway is where I will let my team work. Some of the issues which we find in kgateway is where I would like to fix, or my team would like to fix those. So these are the two areas we are contributing to other communities as well, and I would like to do for kgateway.
That's awesome. We would love that, actually. So just so you know, Naveen, and also for Paris too, we are trying to submit the application for kgateway to be an incubation project in CNCF. So I'll send you some message offline too. We would love you to be part of the supporting team on that. If you would be willing to, that would mean a lot for us. And I think it would mean more adoption, more contribution, more evangelist opportunity for the kgateway project. So it's great for us to grow the project.
Sure.
All right, awesome. Let's see. Nina, I know you had some question about the mentorship program. The Q3 is coming, so should we quickly discuss that? I don't know if anybody else have any pressing topic.
Yeah, we can discuss the mentorship. So we haven't applied yet, but want to apply for the term 3 projects. So there's a couple ideas. I know, Lynn, you suggested having an ecosystem project. So, writing blogs and documentation around kgateway integrating with Argo rollouts, Istio, and Kserve. So this one's less coding related. It's more, like documentation, playing around with different other CNCF projects. So I think it would be like a good task for maybe someone who's just like entering the space who doesn't have a strong like coding skills.
Yeah.
There are a couple like more kgateway specific topics that I mentioned. So I'll send the issues in the chat maybe. So there's the Lua filter support, which is like a nice standalone ask that the community has had. There's like been some interest around it. There's the WASM support, which is also like a nice standalone issue. Like there's some community interest in it, but it's not like I think no one's like actively working on it. So and then OAuth 2 is the other one. So these are all like Envoy integrations on the kgateway side. And then we were also thinking of some agent gateway projects, but they're kind of that's like a little more in the air. So John suggested like if we want agent gateway, kgateway integration docs, like that's a spot that's like pretty lacking. So again, this is less coding, but more of like an ecosystem integration, like showing how agent gateway and kgateway work with some example MCP servers. How to configure different things with the policies in kgateway to configure agent gateway. It's like a pretty big task, so I think we should maybe limit it to a specific feature. And then there's also similar to our current project with adding OTel tracing for Envoy. The same APIs can probably be used to configure agent gateway. So it'd be like a part 2 of the current OTel tracing work that's happening. But instead of having it in the XProc, have it in agent gateway. So those are kind of like the brainstormed ideas. I don't know if anyone has like other suggestions. Yeah, the agent gateway integration specifically, I think like there's a lot of interest in it, but it's very like still work in progress. So it's a little like less stable than the Envoy integrations. So if we do that, like I think we just have to make sure the proposal is written up in a way that it like highlights the nature of that integration and like referencing the prior work that's been done. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Nina, let me ask you this, and also everybody else, all the other maintainers, who is willing to sponsor, like how many projects should we target into? So because Nina, I think this round you are sponsored 2 projects, right? So I don't know if you plan to continue host the same amount. We have to, based on the availability of the mentors, to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm happy to host the ecosystem project, unless someone from the doc side wants to own that, and agent gateway integration as well if we end up making something there. For the Envoy integrations, if people have more context, like I actually have never played around with the Envoy Lua filter, so it'd be fun for me to also look into, but I probably am not the best mentor for that project specifically. But I know that I think Tim, like you've looked into it briefly, or like there's been other people that have touched like the various integrations there. So yeah, I think it really just depends on like people's availability and like if there's any other projects that would be good to propose for this.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, so if anyone is interested, I believe there's a link there we can share, right? So there's a deadline. We just have to make sure we submit. I do think 2 is probably the maximum you can take, Nina.
Yeah, I personally would not want to do more than 2, but I think like we can submit 3 if there's like another mentor that's interested in the Envoy integration side.
Yes, totally.
If we're investing more in sort of these extensible pieces that are Envoy specific, is that a risk for sort of the dual data plane setup?
I don't think so, because even now we have Envoy specific policies. So like our access logging, for example, is a little more Envoy specific. It's probably not going to be supported in agent gateway. So I think as part of the design, that's something to keep in mind is like, should the Lua filter actually live on the traffic policy? Probably not, but as a standalone policy, like it might, I think there are benefits to adding it. Like it's like a pretty powerful feature that the community has expressed interest in. So I don't think we should not do it just because Agent Gateway wouldn't support it. But yeah, it does affect the API design a little.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably not the right place to ask, but at some point, I'd love to hear more about Agent Gateway and sort of what plans look like for that. But I'll go to another meeting for that, I think, to hear more.
Okay, let me add that to the future topic. I do think we do need to. So you want to hear Agent Gateway update, right? What is it?
So it's really interesting to me in that, you know, it's from what little I've looked at and sort of what I've heard, right? It's a great way to integrate with MCP and put a lot of traffic through sort of this alternate path. But what's sort of interesting to me is several other like AI gateway pieces that I've been checking out have the ability to basically generate their own experiments. So there's, you know, if we think of just the Envoy world that we're coming from with like main kgateway, there's a lot of cool features for iterating on what you have. So for example, like traffic shadowing. One of the really cool things you can do with Envoy is you say, hey, yeah, I have production traffic coming through, but for now, I want to deploy something and like take some of that production data, right, and run some tests on it, whether that's in a staging environment or something else where sure, you have to have all the same production data like safeties, but instead of just saying like I have some synthetic thing that I'm running against, I have something very real. And what I've been noticing a lot with a lot of these sort of AI gateway, to sort of use a term which is like not generalized, obviously, but a lot of them are doing this thing whereby, yes, you have production data flowing through, but now you can replay and reassess with some other variant, whether that's a different model or anything else. So we have a lot of those functionalities. A lot of these pieces of functionality exist in kgateway today, right? You can say, I want to weight my traffic to have different behaviors. Great, I can run some like inline experiments, but it's much harder. Like you can do it, but it's much harder to sort of run a retrospective sort of space where, as an engineer, I want to come back and say, I'm going to tune some models and some workflows based off of real production data. How do I do that in an easy way so that I can train my models better? So that's the type of question that I have, and I just don't have enough context. And now I'm just like grandstanding and taking too much time from this meeting, so I'll stop. But that's like the type of question that I'm starting to have around what does it mean for us to have this extra data plane.
Okay, those are interesting questions. I don't know if Agent Gateway solves all the problems though, but we're happy to provide an update maybe in the next few weeks, especially when the branch merge. I think it makes sense to bring back to this community so users like Paras can start using it too.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we're out of time. Thank you everybody for joining us. Really appreciate and look forward to see the conversation on Slack or your contribution in GitHub. Thanks all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.